Hi, I'm Gaby Awad, your host for today's show, Buying Customers. Some know me as the coach on wheels because I have a YouTube channel where I coach while riding on my motorcycle. Check it out. Hit that subscribe button and click the notification bell if you want to be updated with every new video I post. As a business and executive coach, I help business owners, leaders, and teams grow and achieve their goals through business re-education, coaching, mentoring, and business advising. My mission is to help businesses and leaders grow. By the way, we would love to hear from you in real time during our show. If you are listening live or listening to one of the recordings, you can always connect and interact with us on social media or by using the IBGR app for Android and iOS. Just search IBGR on Android Play or Apple Store, and then you can listen to current programming, on-demand podcasts, read the show notes, stay current on IBGR news, and connect with us on it. Take IBGR with you wherever you go. If this is your first time listening, welcome. And if you are a returning listener, welcome back. In this Buying Customers show, episode 11 of season 4, we are going to talk about the customer experience and how to wow your customer. I call it wowing your customer. More specifically, we are going to talk about the customer buying journey, the touch points, the wow factor, the values you bring to your customers, your differentiation factor, and much more. Once we finish our talk today, you should be able to know exactly how to put together strategies for wowing your customers, for retaining them, and make from them walking billboards your prospects, your leads, and your clients. At the end, we will also provide an action plan to develop your customer's wow factor. Make sure you take notes, and when you come to write your first few words, you might need to refer back to this show note. So go now to ibgr.network and download the show notes. Each and every one of us serves customers, whether we realize it or not. Maybe you are on the front lines of a company serving the people who buy your products or services. Perhaps you are an accountant serving the employees by producing their paychecks and keeping the company running. So you have internal customers, and you might have also external and or internal customers. Or maybe you are a company owner serving your staff and your customers. So irrespective of who is your client, the objective is to wow those customers. The big question here is, how can we serve our customers better and improve ourselves in the process? The smaller question would then be, what are your customer service strengths? What are your customer service weaknesses? What would you like to change so that you could provide better customer experience? Do you know what your customer experience means to all your customer base? Do you recognize how your team's attitude affects the customer service? Did you identify your customers' needs? Are you using outstanding customer service to generate return business or just average service? Are you providing outstanding experience at every touch point, whether over the phone, in person, over the web, etc.? Do you connect with your customers, or you just communicate with them? Before we continue, we need to think about what is a customer, what customer experience is all about. We also need to think about whom in our business provides customer experience. The simple answer to that question is everyone. So everyone is, whether interacting or not with the customer, has an impact on the customer experience. Whether they are impacting the way we get back to customers, or the IT department that is not on top of their games, providing the right service for us so that we would be able to provide the best external experience. Everyone in the business has an impact on customer experience. My definition of a customer, however, is anyone who relies on you to do a job that will have an effect on their life, their job, or their use of your product or your service. So you are affecting them directly. If you change your mindset from selling and servicing your customers to a more of a your customer's life depends on your service and product, then you will be on the right track to starting to wow your customers. It goes without saying that your customer's role in your business success is essential, and these customers should be the immediate concern of your business, not your procedures, not your policies, not your systems. Ensuring that these customers are not only satisfied, but wowed every time they interact with you or your team will make the difference between success and failure for many businesses. Everyone remembers the bad customer service they have had, and most will also remember instances of good customer service. The importance of customer service is recognized by all successful businesses because it is possibly the number one element in customer retention. You want more people to come knock on the door, you want more people to buy from you, you want them to come back again and again, you need to have a wow factor in place. How you go about providing that great customer experience and not only customer service, average customer service. This is up to you, but there are certain basic elements which remain the same, whatever the nature of your business is. Obviously, the first priority is that they get whatever they have purchased from the point of sale, uh, and they took to their home. If it is a small item that they can take with them, the business responsibility is to see to it that the item is packaged and presented in a manageable, portable fashion with a minimum of waiting time for you to produce the invoice and or the receipt. However, customer service begins before that. When a customer enters the store or the showroom to find what they are looking for, they may require the attention of staff to enable them to find it. Some customers just want to browse. Staff here is required to ascertain what a customer wants and how they want to go about it and whether they will need any help or not. The wow factor can be defined as exceeding all customer expectations at every touch point by the actions you take to ensure that a customer is pleased with the interaction on a long-term basis. And it starts at the valet parking level, at the reception level, and it never ends till after the last sale has been made and support and upgrade and maintenance and callback have been managed. Interactions here are and should be mapped to your customer journey, phases, like this discovery phase, when they discover about you, whether through the web or the phone or in person. Then the evaluation phase, how they are evaluating you, your product, your services. Then the comparison phase, when they compare you to the competition or to other solutions that are available in the market. Then they move to the consideration phase. Now they are really considering to buy from you. And then the deal or the conversion phase, where they buy from you. And then loyalty and retention phase. And every phase of these phases have touch points, have interactions. Map them up. See what the customer wants and needs to hear, to like, what they like and dislike, what are their motives, how we convince them, how we can improve the communication and interaction with them at each touch point in each phase. So the wow factor caters for the journey and not the after sale only. It starts with when in marketing they know about your existence and the journey continues until they stop buying from you. While after sales service or customer service entails only ensuring that the customer leaves a point of sale happy, this is not customer experience. which is also part of the customer journey, but not the only step that you should be focusing on developing, improving so that you are wowing your customer. Ensuring that customers are not only happy but wowed going forward in our talk may require more care and attention. And this is where your service needs to be at its highest level. Pre-sales, after sales, and point of sale are essential elements of customer service. Also are your marketing interactions and the way you do business, the way you deliver, the way you service, the way you solve problems, the way you send an email, the way you submit a proposal. It is the focus of every member of your team to see to the wow factor. One element of the wow factor that most customers will notice, however, in any given interaction is how your salespeople speak to them and how their inquiry is being dealt with and how they were serviced. But to get to that point, a number of other things also need to be done correctly. However, wow starts with the valet parking, as we said, or the security guard. All of these roles will impact the customer experience, and getting it wrong will mean that your business is failing to provide the customer experience at the level that is expected of them. We are now going to take a short 2 minutes break, and when we return, we will see how the wow factor works. If you're looking for more one-on-one help, you can check our website directory of vetted professionals in all four of our market segments. Just go to ibgr.network, home tab, us tab, and then choose your market segment and then choose your host. We'll be back after the break. We are back, and you are listening to the IBGR Network. I am your host, business and executive coach, Gaby Awad. In this episode of Buying Customers, we are discussing your customer experience, your wow factor, wowing your customers. Go to our website at IBGR Network and download the show notes. Before the break, we defined what is a customer, what is the wow factor, and who is responsible to provide the wow factor towards a great customer experience. Now, I will ask you to change your mindset, try to change your mindset from customers to supporters, to raving fans even. Let me tell you the story of United Airlines. In the spring of 2008, the band Sons of Maxwell were traveling to Nebraska for a one-week tour, and their Taylor guitar, you know those famous guitars, expensive guitars called Taylor, the brand is Taylor, they saw their guitar being thrown by United Airlines baggage handlers in Chicago. The guitar player discovered later that the $3,500 guitar was severely damaged. United didn't deny the experience occurred, but for 9 months, the various people the band communicated with put the responsibility for dealing with the damage on everyone other than themselves, and finally said they would do nothing to compensate for the guitar damage. So the guitarist promised the last person to finally say no to the compensation, Mrs. Erweg, that he would write and produce 3 songs about this experience with United Airlines and make videos even for each to be viewed online by anyone in the world. United Breaks Guitars is the first of these songs that was published on YouTube. Today, this song has more than 20 million views on YouTube. See, we live in Mother Google's age, where every customer can reach millions if they decided to publish a bad review to their experience. Do you know how powerful reviews are to your business? Well, 72% of customers trust online reviews as much as personal recommendations from real people. 68 actually percent of customers also go to social networks to read product reviews, and 90% of customers say that positive online reviews influence their buying decisions. The question remains, what are you going to do to wow your customers so that they provide, free will, based on free will, a great review online? They become raving fans, and they will intentionally want to help you through posting a good review online. The ladder of customer loyalty is simple. Customers start their journey by being just a contact. Then they become suspect because they fit your niche market. Then they become prospects or leads. This is when they take action and you have collected their information in your database, in your CRM. And you want to do business with them because they fit your client persona. After that, and when they buy the first time, they become shoppers, not clients. They only become clients when they buy from you a second time. Till now, there's no wow factor. But the moment they feel they belong to your brand promise and to your business, they become members. This is when the wow factor kicked in their mindset. Then they become advocates. This is when they tell others about you and they defend you because, they were wowed. And the last stage is the raving fans. For you to move from advocates to raving fan stage, where customers do the selling for you, and you don't have only just to satisfy the customers, but you have to delight them. Here's where the team gets to realize that satisfaction just isn't good enough. Customers want satisfaction, but they are always talk about getting more than they expected. This is by definition what the wow factor is. The problem is your customers will always expect you to get better. So you need to always innovate and improve your wow factor. This is also true when, if you think outside the box, and this thinking really matters. See, a winning customer experience is when you combine your service consistency with the ease of purchase. Consistency and ease of purchase. You know why customers leave you? Well, statistics says 1% because of death, 3% because they moved, 5% because they buy from a friend, 9% because they were sold by the competition, 15% because of product or price, and 68% because of perceived indifference. What does perceived indifference means? It means they think you don't care about them. Wow. Your job right now, if you want to improve your customer experience and what to achieve and how to achieve the wow factor, is to start by understanding the phases of delivery. To keep it simple, your phases of delivery, to map them to your customer journey, would be: first, getting the client; second, serving the client; three, collecting payment from the client; four, maintaining the client; and five, gaining referral and repeat business through that client. For every phase, you need to map the touch points, the interactions with your client. Where are your customers' touch points? How is the business communicating with them? Phone, email, social media, face-to-face. How and where could you communicate better? And not only for sales, but for marketing, for order fulfillment, payment, after-sales care, support, update, meetings, etc. This is different for each type of business or industry. For example, a pub, the touch points would be meet and greet, bar service, menu options, and the invoice at the end. For accountants or professional consultants or professional services, the key touch points here are knowledge sharing, strategy workshops, accountability, effectiveness of advice. For a builder or a contractor, the touch points, major areas would be advice on choice of material, construction quality, timelines, cleanliness, getting the job done, etc. Hotels, and this is by staff individual member, their level of helpfulness, their knowledge, going the extra mile, their professional appearance, etc. Then, wow your customers at every touch point. This is equal to the wow factor. You need to map the touch points and you need to find solutions to improve this interaction. This is the wow factor. So map your customer journey first and identify all touch points from all delivery channels, and host internal workshops with your team and your consultants, your business coaches, and reinvent the wow factor. But you could be asking those questions if you are going to brainstorm those workshops. What are we doing right now? What are we not doing? How can we improve the process and the tools and the premises and the organization and the delivery of the service and the structure of the employee and the business model, all with the intention to wow the customer, all with the intention to serve better that customer, all with the intention for us to get and earn repeat business from customers, all with the intention for them to become advocates and raving fans so they can bring customers to us and they sell on our behalf because they were wowed. And they want people that they know to be also wowed. We're now going to take a short 2 minutes break, and when we return, we will continue with the strategies now to get on top of your wow factor. What can you do and how would you go about the strategies, and the tactics, and the tools to improve your wow factor? Let's get social on the new IBGR app. You can chat with our mentoring groups in the chat tab or interact in the app social group. You have been listening to Buying Customers on IBGR Network. I am your host, Gaby Awad, and we will be back after a short break. We are back, and in this episode of Buying Customers at IBGR.network, we are discussing wowing your customers, the wow factor. Go to our website at IBGR.network and download the show notes. Before the break, we discussed the loyalty journey and mapping your customer journey before even identifying the touch points needed, to wow your customers. And then how to brainstorm the steps needed to improve every touch point to delight your customers, not only to satisfy them. Now let's discuss the 6 pillars of customer experience: personalization, integrity, expectations, resolution, time and effort, and empathy. Personalization is about using individual attention to drive an emotional connection. The golden rules here are: greet the customer. Show them, I know these things are basic, but does your team know them? I've seen it so many times at my clients that even showroom uh, team members don't go and greet their customers. Show them you know them. Recognize the history together. Surprise them with something relevant. Use their names and understand their needs and circumstances. When we talk about integrity, integrity is about being trustworthy and to generate trust. The golden rules here are to stand for something more than profit and business and money, to show concern for the client as a person, do what you say you will do, keep the promise and keep the client informed, and be competent. When we talk about expectations as a pillar, expectations is about managing, meeting, and exceeding customer expectations. The golden rules here are: set their expectations accurately, agree and respect the timing with them. Make sure you understood these expectations correctly. Tell them, this is what I understood you want or you need, and respond quickly and exceed your promises. Guide them through the process and provide information, openly and honestly without leaving any surprises later on. The resolution pillar. This is turning a poor experience into a great one. The golden rules are: see the client point of view. The client uh, is right 99% of the time. Provide warm and sincere apologies when due. Own the resolution and fix it with urgency. Don't be lax about it. Surprise them in how well you fixed their issues. Get the extra mile if required and give them options forward. Time and effort pillar is about minimizing the customer effort and creating frictionless processes and interactions. The golden rules here are: make their time investment in you pleasurable. Make their time investment in your business worthwhile. Give them simple and clear instructions. Minimize their waiting times. Provide answers they need when they contact you for help. And advise them of good options and pitfalls of bad options ahead. The empathy pillar is about achieving an understanding of the customer's circumstances to drive deep rapport with them. The golden rules are: invest time to listen, provide the right emotional responses, have this emotional intelligence ratio high, share with them similar experiences, treat them as your priority and as a family member. Take ownership of their issues and show them that you genuinely care about them. See, customer experience achievement starts with a mindset shift. Great customer experience, a wow factor experience, begin with a great positive attitude. This means adding value and integrity to every interaction. It means taking care of your customers the way you would take care of your grandmother. To provide great customer experience, you need to first be willing to do so. Then you need to put energy and enthusiasm into your interactions with the customers. People who have been in business for a while know the value of return business. Experts believe that it costs at least 5 times more to attract new customers than it does to keep existing ones. Does your team know this? If you think about the cost of buying customers, sales and marketing efforts and investments, you can see why winning a new customer is so much more expensive. Your customers are like everyone else. They want to feel appreciated. If they feel that you have forgotten about them as soon as they walk out the door or the transaction is completed, they may take their business elsewhere. Simple. On the other hand, if you show a genuine interest in keeping in touch with them and meeting their needs, they will keep coming back and they will bring their friends. We all like to do business with people we know, like, and trust. You should strive so that you thrive to be that kind of a business. Have you watched the Soup Nazi episode in Seinfeld, the sitcom? One of the most vivid and famous memories, especially for those of us focused on optimizing the customer experience and the perceived value, was the show which featured the Soup Nazi and his "It's not about you, it's about me," and "Get out of my store if you don't like it." You know, this version of a bad service. Go and watch it on YouTube. Amazing lesson in business. So this key lesson of the video clip occurred in the last minute, where Elaine, having been exiled from the shop, no soup for you, come back to show the Soup Nazi that she had been able to identically copy many of his famous recipes, thus quashing the value he so prized. As a customer, Elaine went beyond just leaving and never returning, or even telling her relatives and friends how poorly she had been treated. You know, in the pre-internet world of Seinfeld, Elaine became a customer saboteur, refusing to accept the Soup Nazi's impolite service behavior and going so far as to get sweet revenge by finding the ideal way to undermine his business. Ultimately, as some may recall, Elaine succeeded in forcing the Soup Nazi to close his shop eventually. The polar opposite of advocates and raving fans here are saboteurs. Saboteurs are the extreme of what we label as alienated customers, whose assessment of a supplier of goods and services can range from mildly annoyed and dissatisfied to, revenge-seeking anger. Meaning Elaine and the Soup Nazi. She thought, I'm gonna get my revenge. Like United Break Guitars, revenge. Much of customer alienation and sabotage behavior, both business to business and business to consumer, has been around frustration and disappointment over service and product experiences, and the feeling that brands and companies don't share their concerns, leaving them unheard, leaving the customer unheard. Poor customer experience is often the breeding ground for negative communication. Elaine's sabotage behavior was entirely offline. Now, with the internet, all of that has changed. Post-Seinfeld, the internet became the universal communications enabler and knowledge fountain, the visible source for creating both trust and distrust. It is the perfect place to send personal missiles of opinion on virtually any subject, especially experiences with businesses and how they perceived their experience at a specific business. What are you doing to be proactive about your customer experience? Following up after a sale or any customer touchpoint is something that some people consider an optional extra in business. To some people, the idea is to simply provide the customer with what they came for and let them go on their, merry way once they have got it. The priority after this is to go ahead with doing your job in respect to other customers. However, the fact is that a little bit of follow-up work can make a huge difference to the way your business retains customers and attracts follow-up business from friends of the original customers. Follow-up work is a major part of customer experience. A customer will always see the good service they got from a business as, as a reason to return the next time they need something of similar nature. This kind of service is arguably more powerful than any paid advertising as a tool to get customers through the door on a regular basis. Any customer who feels that they have been given wow treatment will be like a walking billboard or a cheerleader for your business. This is something that many companies fail to keep in mind, and it costs them. It costs them money in the long run. After the sale, service can take on many forms. It may be the person or persons who are on the spot to provide advice and customer support if the customer has difficulties with their purchased product or service. It may be a call a few weeks after the purchase is made to find out whether the customer was happy with their purchase and whether there is anything more that you can do for them. Showing a customer that they mean something to you and your company is a very important part of giving customer experience that is not good, but great. We're now going to take a short 2 minutes break, and when we return, we will continue with today's topic, wowing your customers. We will do a recap and leave you with an action plan at the end. This is Gaby Awad, and we'll be back after the break. We are back, and you are listening to the International Business Growth Radio Network, IBGR. I am your host, business and executive coach, Gaby Awad. In this episode of Buying Customers, we are talking about your customer wow factor, or how to wow your customers. You can go to our website at IBGR Network and download the show notes. Before the break, we talked about the 6 pillars of customer experience and how to wow your customers after the sale. How to turn complaints now into opportunities and win back on customer advocacy. Well, first, you need to listen. Don't interrupt. Second, ask questions for more info and clarifications. Third, summarize back and gain agreement. And fourth, thank them for drawing it to your attention. 5, promise action and call back for advice. And 6, look into the situation and get all the facts before you call the customer back, even if nothing you have to report. Then tell the customer what will be done to put things right. And keep in touch until the matter has been resolved. And at the end, call them after the resolution have been done to reinforce the relationship. Of course, some customers will remain skeptical and difficult, rude even, regardless of how much you are and regardless of your great customer wow factor. You inevitably will have to interact with customers who are difficult in some way. Regardless of what they are, whether they are angry or upset, their feelings might be valid. Understanding the different reasons behind their behavior can help you resolve their difficulties. Just don't take it personally. Whatever reason the customer has for being angry, it probably did not involve you personally. You can own the problem as well as the solution without, owning the blame for the situation. Beware of your own auto-defense mechanisms. Being defensive through such as, I won't be treated this way, or if I don't stand up to this person, I will fail. These tend to engage when you feel under attack. Remember that these types of thoughts often display distorted thinking patterns. Remain calm. Take deep breath to relax. No matter how outrageous your customer is, just listen actively and ask questions. When up, when you can ask questions, don't interrupt them. Just to understand the real cause of the problem. Use a brief moment of silence if you want to allow your customer to finish venting and to allow yourself to regroup. Once you respond, express agreement with your customer about any of the truth you noted. Express empathy and offer an apology for their experience. This allows you to apologize without expressing any wrongdoings or accepting blame, and express willingness to find a solution. Remember that the customer's perception of good or bad experience is the measure of your success or failure to do so. If the customer has a different customer experience definition than we are currently stating, our definition might become invalid. In the end, the customer perception is all that matters. Now, let's move to action, because action speaks louder than words. What's our action plan to strengthen and improve and develop our wow factor? Step 1 would be, it's now the time to go to ibgr.network and download the show note where the action plan is stated in details. Step 1 would be to define your typical client personas. So this is where you list all typical client segments you want to work with that are aligned to your target market, target niche. Give them names, if so, and then find out what they need and what they expect from you in different personas. Meet with your team to brainstorm their frustrations and motivations, their buying decisions, their triggers, what they want to hear and what they don't want to hear, what the benefits that they are looking for, and what really the benefits are that we can bring to each person. Step two of the action plan would be to map your customer journey. After you defined your different client personas, now you need to map the phases of your client interaction with your business. These are typically discovery, explore, compare, evaluate, decide, retain, and refer. At every stage of the customer journey, identify the ways you interact with your customers. Now, how you are now interacting. For example, in the discovery, uh, ask yourself how they can reach us to know more about us. Here you might identify things like your website, inbound calls, social media, WhatsApp, Google search, through some partners, through referrals, through word of mouth, and through probably events. Now, uh, do you cover their thinkings and feelings while they are interacting through each and every channel? Ask yourself, would they be uncertain of the service knowledge, or would they be uncertain or certain of the quality of the product or service? Would they be impressed with our reputation or not? Then identify the improvement opportunities to enhance these touch points at every channel of interaction. How would you improve your website experience? How would you improve the welcoming message on your phone? How would you improve the meeting and greeting in your showroom? How would you improve your experience while doing virtual meetings, etc., etc., etc. Step three of the action plan is to systematize the routine and humanize the exceptions. Think of the policies and procedures and the processes and the tools and the techniques you need to implement to wow your customers. What needs to be defined? What needs to be drafted? What needs to be formalized? And what needs to be reinvented? Have all your team involved in this step and train them, and then train them again to follow these processes. Step four would be to test and measure. Now think of the ways you will be testing and measuring the customer delight. Will you work out some surveys or implement a net promoting score kind of a campaign? Will you be adding some quick smiley faces, kind of a feedback at point of sales? Or call your clients to collect valuable customer experience metrics? Satisfaction is no longer the acceptable standard of customer experience. Satisfaction is no longer the acceptable measurement of customer success. The standard and measure of success for the next millennium is loyal customers. Just because they are satisfied doesn't mean they are loyal. Ask yourself, how loyal are your customers? Word of mouth advertising is 50 times more powerful than advertising. One person telling another what to do and what to buy and how to get it from you means a lot. This means attitude, this means discipline and self-education every day for you and your team. Not serve for the company, rather than serve to be the best you can be for yourself. What's the word on the street about your business? Do you spend as much to promote positive word of mouth advertising as you spend on digital media platforms? Your friendliness and willingness to help your customers and to serve really, genuinely, is in direct proportion to your success. All things being equal, people want to do business with their friends. All things being not quite equal, people still want to do business with their friends. The best way to get to be friends with them is to be friendly. So how friendly is your business? Start friendly and put friendly in the middle. Loyalty is both an action and a process. The best companies in the world begin with great employees, great product, and great service. This makes them attractive, but the element that creates loyalty is service. The Chinese proverb says, to serve is to rule. Giving great service is a key part of giving loyalty. Employees should be loyal to their customers, not loyal to their company, so that their customers would be loyal to the company. The best way to get loyalty, therefore, is to give loyalty. Next week, we will talk about speaking and presenting with impact. Try not to miss it, and if you do, you can always listen to the recorded podcasts. You have been listening to Buying Customers, and today we talked about the wow factor. Be safe, wear a mask, be responsible. I am Coach Gaby Awad, and we will talk with you next time. Thank you for listening. Life is good.